In 2001, this guy right here in the corner, Eric Weihenmayer, all right, he got to the pinnacle. He got to the peak of Mount everest. Incredible feat. At that time, we had about 6 billion people on the planet, and there was less than 1,500 people that had summited Mount Everest. Not only that, he went on to every single continent around the world and hiked their highest peak. It's called the Seven Summits, right? Incredible. What an incredible, incredible journey. But the very interesting point, it wasn't that he got his body ready, that he got his mind ready, that he went up and he did all this. Like other people have done that. This guy's 100% blind. He is blind, right? He did all of this without being able to see, but being blind doesn't mean that he didn't have vision, right? He had a vision. He had a goal. He put it in his head. He knew the direction. He had a map. He was going towards this goal of going to the top of the highest peak on this planet. And he accomplished that because he stuck to his vision. And what I really want to break down here in the opening part of the TTP Live here, the Brent Daniels live show here is, what is your vision? Do you have a vision? Is it written down? What's the difference between a goal and a vision, right? Now, I want to break this down real simply. Check this out. This is it. This is what I'm talking about. When you're talking about building a vision, especially as a real estate entrepreneur, right? Of course, when we start out, we want to go out there and we want to do as much as we can. We want to find as many opportunities as we can. But then we start building, and then this starts to become a real company, a real business, right? We're not just a solopreneur. We're really looking at what is the big vision? What are we going to be in a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now? Now, I don't want to get stuck in this visionary type of conversation where we just get stuck thinking and we don't do enough action. That's not what I'm talking about. But if you combine both, right, having the vision and taking serious action, that's where real businesses get built, right? And it breaks down to 4 parts. And I want you to investigate this. I really want you to crack this open inside your beautiful brains and look at this and go, okay, what do I need here to really create this rounded vision? Because if you know where you're going and you know that it has impact and you know that it's important, it keeps you on the right path and it stops you from getting distracted by so many things. I mean, right now we have so many things coming at us in every single direction. Do we do real estate or do we do crypto? Do we do drop shipping or do we do crypto? Do we do real estate? Do we buy and hold or do we just flip? Do we assign every single deal? Do we buy apartments or do we buy commercial? What do we do? What is the vision? Right? There's so many things going around, and if we don't have a concrete idea of where we want to go in the life that we want to have, then we're going to get distracted. It's going to take longer. It's going to take longer because it's just like if you just hike up a mountain and you run into obstacles, you just are kind of zigzagging all around. But if you have a clear, defined path, you get it. And I know it's a played out analogy, but it's the absolute truth, right? Like if you know, you don't get in an airplane and just hope you know where you're going. There's always a destination. There's always something. You don't just fly around and hope to land somewhere. You have a specific place that you're going to go. And this is the blueprint that helps you put that together. Who's your squad? Who needs to be on that team? Who needs to be on that team so that you can achieve the goals that you want to achieve, not only for yourself, but for your team, right? What are you going to do for sales and marketing? How are you going to determine what is the core lead generation model of your business? What is the service that you're going to provide? Are you flipping houses? Are you providing people with the most unbelievable, remodeled, beautiful, country vintage, modern vintage house that looks so beautiful and everybody wants to take pictures when they come over there? Or are you just assigning deals? Are you just finding these properties for other investors to do it? Or are you holding these properties and you're putting them out there for housing for people? What is the service that you're providing? Because the service that you're providing is equal to the income that you make. We all know that, right? And then what's the impact? What's the impact that you make on your family? What's the impact that you make on your community? What's the impact that you make on the people that work with you, their families? What's the impact? What does that look like? What is that vision, right? So I challenge you, And listen, we're going to get into text blasting. We're going to break this down. This is going to be the best episode we've ever done by far. This is exactly what you're looking for when it comes. If you're interested in text blasting, I'm telling you, we're going to get nitty gritty. But this exercise here, to be able to determine what is your vision for your business, is the foundation. That has given you your roadmap. That's the skeleton, right? That's the blueprint to make sure that you know where you're going, right? And I think that's so impactful because look, here's the fact. We all know this. This is the business. I don't care what you want to do in real estate investing. This is the blueprint. You've got 3 parts to your business: lead generation, conversion, and exit strategy. And if you combine this blueprint with the last one, with this, and with the team and the sales and the service and the impact, with what you want to do here, now you have something that's defined, and you have something that you could work towards. It's not in the ether. It's not in your mind. It's not just imaginary. You've got it there. It's concrete. This is your game plan, right? Like no sports teams just go out and they're like, yeah, guys, just throw the ball around and score some points and have fun, right? This is your game plan. So put it in the context of this with your lead generation. Do you want your company going mostly off marketing, referrals, prospecting, right? Picking up the phone, calling people, door knocking, right? Conversion, pre-qualifying, lead follow-up, and offer presentation. Who's handling this? Is it you right now? Great. But what does that mean when you expand? What teammates do you put into this position? And then also exit strategy. When you're looking, are you going to hold these? Are you going to flip them? Are you going to assign them? There's only 3 options. Are you going to hold them, flip them, or assign them? Right? So, and listen, there's hybrids of all this. I get it. Real estate's creative and it's interesting and it's fun. But really, that's the basics. So just use this framework, these 2 frameworks here, to put together your vision so that you know what direction you're going in. All right? I'm telling you, I'm so inspired. And Matt, will you put up this quote? I love this quote because I think that this just puts an exclamation mark on this. Direction, not intention, determines your destination. Right? You can have all the intention in the world, but if you don't have direction, you're going to be all over the place. You're going to be helter-skelter. It's going to be all over, right? You're not going to be going towards a clear goal, right? Direction, not intention. Let's make that big, Matt. Let's just put that over my face. Here we go. Direction, not intention. I love this. Take a screenshot of it. It's absolutely true. This is what I'm talking about. This is the vision. What is your vision? The vision is your direction. All right? Awesome. Guys, I am so excited. I've got Rafael Cortez here. Rafael, say hello to everybody.
What's happening? Let's go. Let's do it again.
Go. Another banana in the fruit basket. We're going to add a lot of bananas to this fruit basket today.
There's going to be banana overload today. I'm so happy, like every Wednesday morning, man. Yeah. I'm so happy.
I'm happy that you're here.
And pouring stuff out to the tribe. So let's go.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So first what I want to do is when it comes to texting, we're going to do this in 2 parts here. The first part is I'm going to bring on Mychelle Hastings from Batch Leads, Batch Services, Batch Everything, right? So she is the absolute expert at this. She's going to be able to answer an incredible amount of questions, and I'm going to just go and pepper and just kind of get what is the current state of the union when it comes to text blasting. What's going on with the carriers? What's going on with numbers? What's going on with deliverability? So without further ado, Mychelle, get out here. Can we get some applause for her, Matt? There we go. Yes. Awesome. Yes. How are you? How are you? All right. Let's pull that mic over here.
Great.
All right, Mychelle. So just to give some context, okay, Batch Leads is the platform that we use, batchleads.io, right? And we stack all our lists. We text blast pretty much everybody. We have a huge amount of lists. I think we have 1 million people in there, right? 1 million addresses in there. We're texting all the time, but middle of this year, big changes. Middle of this year, the carrier said, hey, you can't this isn't the Wild West anymore. Like, we're going to make sure that we're going to put some hurdles here so that people aren't just spamming people all the time, right?
Correct.
So talk to me about that. What's happened?
Yeah, so you all have probably heard of, or if you haven't, there's this new thing called 10DLC. and a lot of the carriers are now requiring it. So AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, all of them. So what that does is they basically want you to register your brand with an app-to-person service, which is what Batch Leads is. Like, we're an app, and we are sending messages to people. And a ton of businesses use them. Every business is having to do this. It's just the absolute new regulations as of this year. So
now, when you say regulations, are you saying regulations within those carriers? Or is this regulations from a government level?
Within those carriers. So those carriers say, hey, if you want to text our people from an app-to-person platform, your business has to be registered.
And that's what 10DLC is.
10DLC stands for 10-digit long code.
Okay.
Which is the numbers that you're using to text through an app-to-person system, like Batch Leads.
Yep. Okay.
So anyways, that has come into effect. And basically all it means is they're just verifying and building that trust between you and the carrier. Okay, so they're saying, okay, you're a legit business. We want to see what you want to be doing with these numbers. They have you submit 2 texts now. It's a registration process that we have simplified within Batch Leads for you now. It's super, super easy. We've really tried to just break it down. But that's
are people having a problem getting this? Is it a license? What is it?
So you have to register your business.
Is it tough to register?
I mean,
do people get rejected?
You basically get your tax ID number. That's all it is, you know? So, which, I mean, if you're a legit business, you know, like, you're going to have to do that anyway.
So you need to have an LLC just to be able to get this, right?
Yep.
Interesting. So, okay, great. Yep.
So, yeah, you need to register your business if you haven't already. Basically become an LLC, get your tax ID number, IEN number, and then that's all you really need to register.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the name of your company. And then we walk you through step by step on how to register. And then it takes about 24 hours, and then you can start texting right after that. And it basically just verifies all of your numbers. Now all of your numbers have built that trust with that carrier, so your delivery rates are going to go up. They're not going to be spammed less.
When you say all of your numbers, what does that mean? I don't have numbers. Who has numbers? Do you guys give numbers?
We do give numbers. We provide texting phone numbers.
But people can bring in their own numbers from an outside source if they want?
So we do integrate with Twilio and Plevo.
Right.
So you can...
but Jeremy just told me, and Jeremy and Jackie on my team are going to come on after Mychelle. It's going to be fantastic. We're going to break down my company's numbers and best practices. But Twilio just kicked us off. Twilio said no more. So now we're just 100% with batch numbers. Good. Are you seeing that?
So we are seeing, so what's happening with Twilio is if you have, from my understanding from Jeremy, is when you have too many people opting out of your text messages, when you hit over a certain percentage of your responses being opt out, then they're basically kind of shutting you down. So I would really highly suggest just sticking with batch phone numbers. I'm not seeing any issues with that, we have absolutely no issues with our numbers. So that is kind of a new thing with Twilio for sure. Got it.
Yeah. Okay, so is there restrictions on how many texts can go out?
Yes. So through Batch Leads, it is still 1,000 sends per day as of now.
1,000 sends.
New sends per day. You can text unlimited in the inbox, and that's a lot of things people don't understand.
Right.
So it's just new conversations. You're basically texting 1,000 new leads that you haven't talked to before, and then you can have those conversations back and forth in the inbox unlimited.
So Alejandro's looking at me and saying we already have a ton of questions,
Yay, awesome.
Which I love. So Mychelle's here for that. So let me get one or two more questions. Okay, there you go, Mario.
Perfect. What happened to Batch Litigator Scrub? So our Litigator Scrub is actually incorporated in a lot of our products, which is absolutely incredible. So if you submit a list into a text platform, we're automatically scrubbing it for you. If you are if you're using our dialer, it's automatically being scrubbed when you import that list into a campaign. So it's still there. Awesome. It definitely is still
there. What
there.
is Litigator Scrub for anybody that doesn't?
For anybody that doesn't know, litigators are basically what we call professional complainers. So there's dogs, and then there's dogs that bite. All right. So we basically remove the dogs that bite from campaigns, the people you don't want to talk to. So those are litigators.
These are people that are literally waiting around,
to sue
and their
people.
profession is to create lawsuits and settle with people or bring them to court, but most of the time to settle because they're on the do not call list, because they said that they don't want to text or something like that. And there is a list, and you guys have that, and you're scrubbing against it already.
Correct.
Automatically.
Yep. Every time you import a list into a campaign, whether that's the dialer or our text campaign.
Huge.
Yeah.
And so you restrict it to 1,000 new sends. Why? Is that because the carriers are saying, hey, listen, we don't want you to send more than that? Or are you just saying, hey, listen, like, this is all that we're going to allow you to do? Like, could they go to some other platform, some other company, some other texting service and blast out 5 or 10,000 a day?
Definitely. I mean, every platform's a little different, but so with batch leads, what we're doing is we're protecting the integrity of those phone numbers. So, and as of right now, that's kind of where we are being limited in being able to send messages out, is like the 1,000 sends per day. Because imagine if you have 5 phone numbers and you're sending out 10,000 messages, those are going to get spammed immediately. And then what's the point? You're not going to get any of those responses back. So you just wasted all of your marketing dollars blasting out from those phone numbers.
Love it. Because I remember back in the heyday, I mean, Raphael, we sat in the Go Giver mastermind group at Dave & Buster's once a month with everybody, and there were people sending out 30, 40, 50,000 texts a day, up to 80,000 texts a day. And getting and having little bots that scrub it and get through and then get the lowest hanging fruit throughout a whole area, and it worked real well for a long time, and then those results started really getting hit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's also why we started getting red flagged so much. I mean, we had a steady pace of 5,000 SMSs a day, and it's
your business.
Yeah, my business, and it's an ancillary form of marketing, right? But the red flags started getting higher, and just the difficulty level of complying, especially because we went outside and we went straight to Twilio and then we wanted to comply with them directly. I mean, it was just a nightmare, man. However, like it's important to understand that SMS, it's a volume game, right?
Yeah.
It's not. And I'll break down some of the numbers that we have from last week regarding that.
And Alejandro, you could just pepper us. I'm cool. I mean, if there's some more questions, let's get them in here. That's the point of the show, guys, is to, 1, celebrate success, 2, create a community that you can squat up with, and 3, to answer any questions that you have. So make sure that you do that. 19 Legacy says, I was told that if you send under 1,000 a day, then you don't have to do 10 DLC.
This is incorrect. I'm sorry. So if you want to get around from registering your brand, we do offer toll-free numbers, which are 1-800. But to be completely transparent with you guys, your delivery rates are going to be a lot lower.
Right.
So,
but RJ Bates does it.
He does, and you know what? He just keeps going. So. It definitely is an option. You can, by all means, use toll-free numbers. And
so
you don't
you're
have
talking
to
like
do anything.
You see a text and it's like 800 blah blah blah, like some sort of crazy, or is it a short code, or what is it?
No, it's a 1-800 number.
Okay.
Yeah, 1-800 number. But if you're texting under 1,000 per day, there's 2 different packages that 10DLC has. It's the starter and the standard. So the starter allows you to have 5 phone numbers, and you can still send out 1,000 per day with that. So it's basically 200 texts per phone number. But just keep in mind, that's a lot of activity for 1 phone number. Yep. So those 5 numbers might get spammed faster. And then there's the standard package, which allows you to have up to 50 phone numbers in that 10 DLC campaign. And those, I mean, you can still only do 1,000, but you're sending less per phone number per day. So they're going to last longer. Your delivery rate's going to be higher. But yes, you do still have to register.
Daniel, when is the modules that I did with Mychelle for the TTP coaching students going to be ready? This week.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, we did an unbelievable training on that. So anybody, I know that we have a lot of TTP family members on here watching. Get ready for that. It's going to be absolutely bananas and complimentary in the coaching program. So check that out. Vasily, how can I find out which numbers in my list are mobile numbers and which are landlines?
So it depends on where you're getting your list skip traced.
Oh,
right?
here we go. Double dip.
So,
Go ahead. Double dip it.
Yes. If you are skip tracing with batch leads, we do let you know which ones are mobile and landline. Now, if you are using batch leads for texting, we automatically scrub out the landlines. So when you push a list into a campaign, go ahead and scroll down and look at the contact list, and we'll break it down for you. We'll say, hey, you uploaded 400 properties. Out of those 400 properties, you had 600 mobile numbers and 400 landlines, and then maybe 10 litigators were removed. Okay, and then your sends are only going to be the mobile numbers, and then we separate the landlines for you in a separate list, and you can actually download those straight from the campaign and then do what you need to do with the landlines.
Awesome. And guys, Batch Leads is one of the top platforms, if not the top platform. So everything Mychelle is telling you here is from a incredible amount of experience. Not only that, I mean, your hands are in it every single day, really helping people be successful in their campaigns. And what do you say? Are people being successful with texting? I mean, I'm going to break down our numbers, which has been phenomenal for us, because the cost versus what we make is bananas. But it is. It really is. And Raphael's nodding his head. Is it?
Oh my gosh, no, you guys, I know it's another extra hoop, okay, but they're just trying to cut the fat, right? Like, that's the whole point of 10DLC and everything. But you guys, people are still crushing it. They're getting deals left and right. It's a mindset thing. Also, it's quality over quantity now. It really is when it comes to texting. So,
ooh, this is great.
Yeah.
Brady asks, if we use more than one app to person platform, do we register on all of them, i.e. Batch and Freedomsoft?
That is a great question. So I believe only one tax ID can be used for a 10DLC campaign. So you would need to register multiple businesses.
Cool. There you go, Brady. Good question. Zelco, what are the things that we need to pay and start paying per month once we register?
Great question. Okay, so the starter one, there's no registration fee, but it is $10 per campaign. Now, I know it's really confusing when you say campaign. I'm not talking text campaigns.
Okay.
I'm talking 10 DLC campaigns. So one campaign per tax ID number. So that's a campaign, right? So it's $10 a month for your business to be registered within that $10.
Who does that go to?
That goes to whoever made the
carriers?
The carriers or whoever's working with the carriers to implement 10 DLC.
Right.
So basically they're kind of taking their fair share out of this wild texting marketing.
They're taking a little taste from everybody.
Yeah, they are. So that goes straight to them. And then the standard, where you get 50 phone numbers that you can register in your 10 DLC campaign, which is the one we recommend because you get 50 phone numbers, which again, it's going to protect the integrity of your numbers. They're going to last longer. Delivery rates are going to be better. The 10 DLC is charging $44 a month, or $44 registration fee, and then $10 a month still for the campaign. So the campaign price is the same, but there's a one-time registration fee of $44.
$44 up front, $10 a month.
And you get 50 phone numbers for that 10 DLC campaign.
What happens when 10 of those phone numbers...
You can just replace them. So you can have 50 phone numbers.
How do you replace them? Does it do it automatically? Do you have to do it manually?
Through batch leads. So in your phone manager, in your settings, that's where you can purchase phone numbers from us. Any of those phone numbers that are in there are going to be in that 10 DLC campaign. So
what is the base cost of batch leads?
For phone numbers?
No, for the whole deal, for text blasting.
So for text blasting, it's going to be $108 per month. So you're going to do the $39 base package, and then you're going to do the $69 SMS add-on. So it comes to $108, and then our phone numbers are $1 each per month, and then
So that could be, so if you have 50 numbers, that'd be $50 on top of the 108, right? So $158 a month.
About $100.
Is there additional cost per texts?
So per text is 3 cents per text.
Okay.
So if you're sending 1,000 texts per day,
$30.
That's $30. Yeah. If you're, which honestly, you guys are going to go over numbers later, right?
Yeah.
They'll go over that.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Love it. No, I just want to set expectations
Yeah,
of
of
what the
course.
cost is up front. And, as people are looking at it, listen, I encourage you to go and pick up the phone and talk to people like right now and catch them. I think that in our experience, text blasting, there's been some cases where there is... There's been some case. Sorry, I'm distracted. Alejandro's telling me to hurry up. There's been some cases where people are like, they just only text, but then most of the time it's just lowest hanging fruit, and we'll talk about that.
So the question, yes.
Okay.
So
Got it. Sorry, guys, I'm blabbering.
no problem. So the question is, so it's not too late to register. I thought there was a deadline. So the deadline, I believe, was for us to implement this for you guys. So now anyone who joins Batch Leads, they will have to register immediately if they want to start.
But you show them how to do it?
Yeah, we walk you through it. You're assigned an account manager.
A human?
A human.
One of these guys
One
in here?
of us, yes.
One of these guys like right here?
Yep.
In this office?
Yeah, in the office, and they're great. You'll see their picture.
They are great, guys.
Email, phone
They're
number, name.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you can find your account manager's information in settings, and they'll walk you through how to set up your, just make sure you have your tax ID number ready.
Yep.
So
And that's the next question.
no LLC, no service. You can use 1-800 numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dominique,
So-
you could use 1-800 numbers, but, I highly encourage, well, whatever. Talk to an accountant and see if it's the right thing to get an LLC. But we certainly have one. Yep. Awesome.
Yeah.
I sent out 1,000 texts today and got 0 responses for the first time. Any idea what might happen? Normally I get at least 999 responses telling me to drop dead. From Derek.
Oh, Derek, that's funny. Okay, so I would reach out to your account manager, see what's going on. Also, check your phone numbers, make sure none of them are spammed. That's always healthy to do, and switch them out every once in a while too. If you've been hanging on to a phone number for over a couple months, go ahead and switch that bad boy out.
Derek, would he know who his account manager is?
Yeah, go to your settings and then literally click that little pinwheel in the top right corner, and you'll see their picture pop up in the left hand corner.
Derek, if you go and you put in here who that is, we'll bring him in here. We'll prove to you that they're down the hall. How about that?
They're a real person.
Well, yeah, we'll bring him in here, and you could see him face to face. So put in who your account manager is. Let's get this real. Awesome. I love this.
Yeah, it's
this is
great.
helping. I think this is a huge benefit. I think there's a lot of mystery here. I think there's a lot of fog that is kind of like, oh, you can't do it, or you can do
Yeah.
it, or you can't do as much of it, but you can only do this and that.
Yeah.
And
A lot of
Yeah.
people just don't like change, I think. It's frustrating. It's like, I just got my rhythm down. Why are things changing? But it's really simple, you guys. It really, really is.
And listen, it is always going to change. It is always going to change. That's why you hire companies like Batch Leads to deal with it.
Yep.
I mean, that's why that's what you do. That's why you hire platforms to be able to deal with all that and navigate that. So sorry if this is already asked by Laura. What are the risks of registering and using local numbers?
Oh, I'm so glad this question came up. You guys, so
Me too,
I
I
am.
guess. Yeah.
So a lot of people have been nervous to register. They're like, oh, now my business tied to this number, or whatever. So there really is no risk involved. All it's doing is building trust with the carriers. They're like, oh, okay, this is a legit person. This isn't a spammer. They have a tax ID number. They're a real human being. All right, let's send this message for them. Let's deliver it. That's really all it is they're just wanting to build trust with the people trying to communicate with their customers.
Love it. Love it. Great question, Laura. Can I use Google phone numbers? What if a seller calls me 1 year later, I changed phone numbers and did not get that lead?
Okay, so this is for calling. I mean, you can by all
is this
means.
for calling?
I'm
No. I think they send a text.
Okay.
It's in somebody's phone.
Okay.
A year later, they're like, oh, yeah, I want to sell now. Where's that text about my house? Oh, there it is. And they call that number. And it's just a number that's recycled or spammed or whatever else. I think what Al or
Google numbers expire.
Google numbers expire?
Google numbers expire.
Okay. But what happens if the number... You just aren't going to get that call if it's a number that you no longer have in your system?
So we have a call forwarding feature. So even with spam numbers or whatever, so you'll notice in your phone manager, you have a history of every phone number you've ever had. Even if you've deleted it or it's been spammed, there's a history there. And so you can have a call forwarding destination. So it will get forwarded to whatever phone number you have there for the call forwarding. So I hope that
So
makes
if the
sense.
number's dead, the number will still come in?
Forward to your destination. So as long as your destination isn't a Google phone number that's been recycled, you know.
Well, that's the issue with Google phone numbers. And one, there's not a lot of them, right?
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lack of them. And two, maybe I'm wrong. I could be totally wrong.
as long
I
as
don't
your
know.
call
But
forwarding
number two
number's good.
is if that number starts coming up as spam likely, you got to change it. And then do you have a platform to be able to accept calls in but not make calls out? So you're saying you've got the platforms built so that they can still get the voicemails in if somebody calls on an old dead number.
Yeah, it'll forward to that call forwarding destination still. So just make sure your call forwarding number is good, okay? It
Right.
doesn't expire. And then use follow-up
What do
campaigns
you mean
too.
call forwarding number? Like somebody's cell phone number?
Like okay,
somebody's
so
personal
I
number?
buy 10 text numbers.
Yes.
I say I want these 10 text numbers to get forwarded to my cell phone if they decide to pick up the phone and call that text
Right.
number. So they think they're calling the text number, but really it's getting rerouted into
your
my cell
phone.
phone. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Love it.
And then they don't have my cell phone number.
Elizabeth Sands.
Elizabeth Sands is blank.
That's his account manager.
Oh. Oh, Elizabeth. Yes. She's great.
Go get her.
She's actually a remote.
Oh, she is. Oh,
She lives
jeez
in California.
Louise.
Oh, that's so funny.
That's hilarious.
That's funny. She's not here today.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Of course.
that just torpedoed that whole thing, Kyle.
Yeah,
I
she's
mean,
working
yeah.
remote today.
How can you tell if your phone numbers are marked as spam on batch?
Go to your phone manager in your settings, and you'll see a little red X. Well, it'll say spammed, and then you can release it. So, yeah.
Jose Luis Guerrero, is there a training class in person in Phoenix with batch that you can pay to hands-on learn about batch, leads, skip tracing, dialer, and driven?
We're not going to charge you to learn batch leads. We have live webinars. You can also book one-on-one onboarding sessions. But if you're in Phoenix, come and stop by. We'd love to see you.
How do they organize that? Do you want them to email somebody?
Yeah. If you're... email your account manager. Yeah, seriously. In your settings, say, hey, I'm going to be in the area. Can I stop by? Can I come say hi? Yeah.
They would love it.
Yeah, we would love
They
to
would
see you
love
guys.
it.
Yeah.
They would love it. Yeah. Unless you're trying to get a hold of Elizabeth. Apparently, she is. It's just
We have two that are work remote.
I mean, you totally just.
Yeah, I know. I'll be here though.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and ask for Mychelle.
Yeah.
How does your numbers reputation work? Is it Jameson? Hey, great to see you, buddy. Is it checking versus carriers and non-carriers, and how often is it updated? Earlier this year, we just had all of our numbers flagged at once. It was weird.
It was weird.
Yeah.
It's probably once the 10 DLC thing went through. Like you guys, I mean, it is in effect. It is all of a sudden it's affecting everybody. So I would make sure that you registered and then purchase all new phone numbers, because if you haven't registered yet, then and you still are texting, they're all going to get flagged as spam because these carriers don't know who you are. Like, you're not registered. So there's no trust between you and the carrier.
Love it. Dylan, I use batch driven to text typically 100 addresses a day. So would this mean I wouldn't have to worry about signing up my business at this time?
So batch driven is anybody who's texting from an app is going to have to register. So if you're using batch driven,
By when?
I don't know when they're going to launch it, 10 DLC, but it's going to happen. So just expect it someday.
There's no idea when?
I don't have an idea. I haven't been told the roll. I haven't been told the rollout
All right.
for that with batch
Yep.
driven.
So eventually, Dylan, the answer is eventually.
Yep.
Awesome. Massive action mindset. Big G, Anthony, what's the difference between batch leads and smartphone?
Smartphone is just an app on your computers, from my understanding, right? Like, I don't know, and you can only do
I've
one
never
at a
used it. I'm
time.
not familiar with it.
It's
Raphael is.
yeah, Raphael.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We use it. It's integrated to the CRM, but it doesn't. I don't think they have a mass text messaging system. So you can SMS it. Think of it as almost like a call rail. That's a little bit easier to use.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And
Awesome. It's a
we
big
use,
difference.
I mean, for
You keep
calling
answering
our
questions. I'm going to go
Okay,
grab your
cool.
team so that people don't think I'm full of shit.
Sounds good. He's not, I promise. So, I mean, we use something similar to smartphone to call and text our customers as well. And we've still had to like register everything through that, like our business through that system as well. So, okay. So do I need an LLC and register for texting on batch driven? Batch driven, as of right now, I think we haven't implemented the 10 DLC registration process, but from previous questions that we answered, it will be coming. Everybody, if you're using an app to person text platform, you're going to have to register through 10 DLC. So just be prepared for it. Plevo is not even allowing new signups, stating a backlog with batch leads you can start it right away, right? Okay, yes. So that is brand new as of yesterday. You guys, Plevo, they're just getting so many signups now because everybody's having to register. They're getting backlogged with requests for phone numbers right now. So, I mean, it's not that they're not allowing new signups.
What's
It's just
Plevo?
they're putting you on a wait
What is
list.
Plevo?
Plevo is another phone provider. They basically provide phone
Got
numbers for apps.
Like another
yeah,
Twilio.
like Twilio.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
So they're just super backlogged right now, but it's not that they're not accepting. It's just there's a wait list right now. And I don't know what's going on with them on their side of things, but you guys, we still have batch leads phone numbers. So in the meantime, use those.
So they can get started right away.
Everybody's trying to figure their stuff out right now. So
Got it. Your team's in a meeting that literally just started. So they're going to pop in like 15 minutes, whatever. Okay. Michael, what is the current accuracy of batch skip tracing results? How often should we repull lists?
Repull lists? Okay, so, I mean, this is probably a question.
I mean, I could answer that right now.
Mm-hmm.
The accuracy's never been better. It's constantly been improved. Our contact rates are fantastic. We pull, we usually, the beautiful thing about batch leads is it makes sure that you don't skip trace the same addresses, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're not getting a hold of somebody, maybe you want to go and filter through that and see if you can re-skip trace it. But if it comes back with the same numbers, they're not going to charge you.
Yeah.
So that's the whole point. So if you're going to get serious about making a lot of calls or texting a lot of people or reaching out, you got to use, the platform. You got to use a platform. Do your research. Do whatever you guys want to do. I'm just telling you, we use batch leads to filter through all that, so we're not spending money re-skip tracing the same same numbers.
And especially when you have as much data as you have, so I was just working with a customer the other day, and we looked at his skip trace reports, and his savings columns were like, he saved $600, $800 on one skip trace file that he had submitted. And it's like this whole platform's literally paying for itself just through the skip tracing, Yep. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Cool. Freda, does registration apply to only text, or does it apply to calling too?
So this is totally different. It's just texting. Yeah, just texting. 10 DLC, 10-digit long code. It's for texting carriers. For calling, there is a new Traced Act. Mm-hmm. So there is, and you can do a little research on that. But that's totally different.
Have we had to register for calling? No. Okay.
No, there's no registration.
How do we protect our reputation with the carriers so we are not flagged?
How do
Jason Harris.
Protect? Good. Okay, Jason Harris. All right. With carriers so we are not flagged. So, we are kind of protecting you on our end with the 1,000 cents per day. I would honestly do the standard profile when you're registering, because you're going to have up to 50 phone numbers. You don't have to have 50 phone numbers, but you can have up to 50 phone numbers. And that's going to create a healthier rotation as you're texting. So instead of each phone number sending 200 texts, now each phone number is going to send 5, 10,
Yep.
And then also, when in your text templates, just make sure you're not using any of the spammed words. We have a whole list for you. If you scroll down, we give you a list of words that we recommend you do not use. They're highly flagged.
Mm-hmm. But like out of the blue?
Out of the blue. I know this is really random. COVID, like just words like
Sale.
That. Sale.
I have a whole list of that. Yeah.
Interested.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Raphael, what did you want to say?
I actually have
a chart here, right?
I actually have the KPIs for SMS for last week.
Yep.
From the company. I don't know. We can put them up that way.
Yeah, go for it.
Because they're I have the percentages for 1,000 sends.
Okay.
Right? So we send more than that, but we break it down, and I think it's good stuff to see. It's actually one of the questions that Derek had.
Okay.
What can they expect? So these are the numbers from last week, and this is why it's so important to really like check the health of the phone numbers and make sure that you're complying with the latest red flagged words, because the deliverability rate will drop. Back to November 8th, we sent out 4,000 SMSs that day, and the deliverability, if you see it, it's 13%.
Okay.
So because we're tracking the KPIs, and we're able to catch that, right? So we caught it, and then we increased it. We looked at the health of the numbers. We swapped out a whole bunch of numbers day one, and then we realized that the red flag words had changed, and we had a couple of them on the templates. So we came in, then we adjusted. So we started dropping less. 3,500, 2,100, 2,000, then 2,000 on Thursday and Friday, but the deliverability went high. Went higher to 49 to 54%.
Fantastic. Great point.
So to just kind of break those numbers down, and it was a total of 13,000 SMSs last week. We were at 5,000 a day. We dialed it back from that.
Yeah.
We had the same thing because we were going through Twilio. So we had that issue with them. That's how we came about, going into it and then figuring out what the problem was.
Yeah.
But if you're sending out 1,000, and this is based off of a absentee owner list, pretty standard stuff, single family, nothing crazy, no niched out, things. You can expect out of 1,000 deliverability of about 54%, 61 responses, 3 leads, and 1.5 prospects.
Very beautiful.
That's what we're getting on average as a hit.
I love it. Got it. Guys, how much? Listen, we've only got a little bit more time. Mychelle, she's got a whole bunch of stuff to do today. So she was kind enough to jump on the show and answer some questions. So make sure you get them in here. And then we're going to bring on Jackie and Jeremy from my team. We're going to talk about nitty gritty, what we're doing for best practices. And we've closed almost $500,000? Yeah. Almost $500,000 in text deals this year and pending. What's that?
3 more.
3 more questions. All right, here we go. Kathy, I haven't had to register for texting with Go for Close. Should I be concerned? What if you have your own numbers? Can you import that for texting and not use your numbers?
So with batch leads, you cannot import your own numbers. So, I mean, they're specific phone numbers that are being purchased. So they're SMS phone numbers that we're getting from other carriers. So anyways, Go for Close, I'm not familiar with that platform at all, but I would be concerned. I would definitely pay attention to your delivery rate, how that is, because if you're not registered, literally AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, every carrier is on board with this. All of them are on board with it. And they will not deliver your message because they don't know who you are. They don't know who's registered behind that phone number. So
and eventually 10 DLC will kick in.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Got
definitely.
it. There you go. Xavier, hi. While using batch leads here in Utah area, I wouldn't know if these leads were available because most of Utah was marked red as already sold. As those leads I shouldn't bother with. I have no idea what he's talking about.
I don't know. Maybe rephrase. Okay, next one.
No. Let's go back for a second. Let's see that real quick. Sorry.
Break it down.
Let's not just skip past it. So something about the numbers being red?
Something.
Let's pop that up. Okay. Here in Utah area, wouldn't know if these leads were available because most of Utah was marked red.
I mean, I think he's talking about the
calls. Or the leads were already sold?
Xavier, I have no idea what you're talking about there. We would need way more clarification. Do you know what he's talking about?
I think I'm picking it up in context, but it's if they're already sold, look at the last sale date. If you're doing stuff that's been sold over the last 6 months, just don't worry about them. I mean, even if it lasts a year, So go further back if that's going to be a
that's
date.
More lists, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a list.
You put in?
Yeah, but I think that's what he's saying because they're marked as sold. So
Maybe
if that's the case, just go a little bit further back in the timeline, 2 years or something like that.
Cool. Thanks, Raphael. It's a team effort here on this
100%.
CTP Live.
Here
we
we
go.
Here.
Jared, if we load a new list, there he is. God, what a handsome devil that guy. Crushes. If we load a new list to skip and some of the addresses are already in batch leads, If there are, in fact, new phone numbers linked to that property, will batch update them or suppress them and put it in savings?
Put it into. So if you load a new list.
So if you've got the addresses in, you've got numbers, but numbers are updating for that address, does it automatically give you those numbers, or do you have to redo that? How do you know
Got it. Okay.
if new numbers are
I get
coming
it.
through for
Yes.
the address?
So if you, like, let's say you have 101 Main Street already in your system, and maybe you're uploading a skip trace list and 101 Main Street's on there and there's a new phone number, the system will take all of that new information and update that record. So it will update that record with the new phone number.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Michelle,
Yeah.
why'd you do the and update that record?
Because it goes in a list. I don't know.
Okay,
Like
cool.
it goes into the updated records. So when you look at the reports, I didn't even realize I did that. When you go into the report section of your import logs, you'll see your list, and it'll tell you how many were imported, not imported, and then how many were updated. And then, yeah, that list will be there.
Awesome. There you go. Michelle,
Cool.
thank you.
You're
You're the best. That was so
welcome.
helpful.
You're so
That was
welcome.
45 minutes, guys. I mean,
Wow.
really, really, really good stuff. I mean, unbelievable. Thank you guys for asking the questions, the hard-hitting questions, and I hope we answered it all. At some point, bring your team in here. Just knock on the door
Okay,
and
I will.
pop in here so everybody can see
They're
them.
really here.
And without further ado, I'm going to have you pass the baton over to my team
All
here.
right, bye, guys.
And
Thank
that
you, Michelle. You're the
is,
best.
Jackie and Jeremy. Look at these young guys. I've known Jeremy since we were 18 years old. Let's pop that thing up in the bottom corner. There he
So
is.
many good
There he
looking
is.
people
Oh,
on
look
the
at these
show.
guys.
Some good-looking
And there's
guys.
our acquisition manager, Ryan Thornton, there. Wow. There's some athletes right
Bleached
there.
blonde hair right
There's
there.
some athletes right there. So, guys, Jackie is my lead manager. She really runs the whole company. She really does. She keeps everybody organized, keeps everybody accountable, and tracks all the numbers.
She's also my beautiful wife.
And Jeremy's wife. And Jeremy is our disposition manager. So this year he's currently sitting at an average of about 32-ish.
No.
I mean, if you
If you take out the referrals,
Yeah.
I think it's closer to 40.
40 if you take out referrals to real estate agents that we get because I'm licensed. So here we go. Let's break down these numbers. You got it right there. You're already prepared. What have we made this year so far?
So this year we have made $496,765 in text deals.
Texting. How many deals is that?
16 deals.
16 deals. So that's not a lot of deals. That's not like 50, 100, 150 deals. But we're averaging how much per deal?
$31,047.81.
I love it. Look at that. That is fantastic. Now, the question everybody's asking is, how many texts does it take to get a deal? This right here is going to be interesting because we're going to play this off. We're going to play against, we're very much quantity. Well, there you go, Paul. Here you go, brother. Yeah, are you ready? Come on.
One
Paul,
step
I
ahead.
know your questions already. I already got it. I got you, brother. I love it. I love that we're on the same page. But we're gonna go quantity, and then we're gonna talk to Raf about quality because he's got a different strategy there. How many per deal?
25,000 texts.
Say that again.
25,000.
25,000 texts. And from the day that we text them to the day that we get paid, what is that average timeline? What is the sales cycle, as it's called?
That would be 48 days.
48 days. 48 days. Now, remember, with cold calling, it's an average around 92. He's moving you closer here. There we go. There you go. Get
Like
to
this?
the table. Stand next to me. Stand next to me.
Like
There
here?
you go. We'll all share these microphones. Bring this over. All right. They're like, what do I do with my hands? Jackie's very nervous. Listen,
like cameras.
she is great on Zoom. She's very nervous here. So, very brave. Thank you. Thank you for
Maybe
doing
you
it.
should just share your nighttime wash FaceTime routine.
Oh, nice.
routine.
Your big
Get it
TikTok.
natural
Yeah.
or natural.
So we've got 42 days. We've got an average of 31,000. We got an average of one deal per 25,000 texts. What's the average cost per deal?
Cost per deal is $2,220.
$2,220. And we have somebody specifically that texts for us,
Correct.
right? So we have
Tao.
Tao, and Tao is with
Call motivated sellers.
Call motivated sellers. That's who we also have our phone prospectors with, and it's a little bit cheaper than the phone prospectors, right?
Yes.
What is it, 15 an hour?
14 an hour.
14 an hour. That's fantastic. And why did we use him instead of like a $2 to $3 an hour person?
Because he's really great at lead management and follow-up, and he's really tech savvy, and we just found that he brings more deals.
So what
and
does
more
that
leads.
mean that he does follow-up with text? Like he's actually, people are responding and he knows how to respond back?
Yeah, and even like if someone responded to him a year ago and then they ghost him, he has kind of the intuition to follow up at just the right time to kind of get them back on the hook. He never deads a lead. Like he's always going after it.
He's the leads whisperer.
Yeah, apparently. He's the leads whisperer. Okay. And we have one texter, that's it?
That's it right now, yeah.
What did
used
we
to
have?
two.
Right?
We had a VA hub, VA from the Philippines.
Yeah.
And I would say it's two different strategies. Mass quantity, like sending out 20,000 with the VA hub, and we're going to have to filter out the leads.
Right.
Versus Tao is good at doing it and really sending good quality top.
So if you
top-level
do
leads.
want to use a VA that's not $14 an hour, you just have to do more work yourself.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if you don't have the budget, that's an option. It's certainly an option. If you want it kind of more baked in, we use call motivated sellers, right? Okay, got it. And so he gets a lead. What happens to the lead once it comes in?
So he automatically inputs it into our Podio.
Okay.
So he has a web form that
The
he
one
puts
that
in.
guy built?
Yeah,
Yep.
the one that Raphael built.
Yeah,
So
he can literally just click a button.
Right.
Yeah, and it's just in, and then it goes to me,
Yep.
and then
What are you
I
looking at?
look at the quality of the lead.
Uh-huh.
I check to make sure that it's not pending on the market.
What does that mean, quality of the lead?
Quality of the lead, that it has at least one of the 4 pillars.
Yep. What are the 4 pillars?
What is it? Price, motivation, condition, and timeline.
Boom!
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look at that.
And we found that we used to try to get all 4 of those
Right.
Yeah.
over text.
Not a good idea.
And the conversation just fizzles out. You know?
Right.
You're trying to have a high quality conversation via text. They're going to be going to work and they're going to be doing who knows what.
Yeah.
So as soon as we get that one strong pillar, we're trying to get them on the phone.
Yep.
And your acquisition manager is more talented. Like
Yeah.
your texter is,
Or you. Or you.
yeah,
you
or
know.
you.
Yeah.
You're more talented. Get them on the phone, and you develop that rapport.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what I'm kind of looking for is like, I'm looking to see, because we do have MLS access. I guess not everybody does have that. So we can see who owns it. Does that match the name of the person we were texting? Did they buy it last month? That's a huge
Well, you can
red
check
flag.
PropStream,
Yeah.
TTP data. You can check if it's active on the market, right? That's everybody. That's a nationwide MLS. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's just kind of making sure that the lead, who they say they are, kind of matches up a little bit. But even if it doesn't, sometimes I'll just have, one of our guys just call it, because
Yeah.
you just never know the story. I
Right.
mean, every once in a while it'll be like a wholesaler that we can then partner up with, that obviously doesn't own the property but has it under contract.
Cash
They're looking
buyers.
yeah.
Or
they're
the
looking for help.
son.
Yeah, or the son.
Family
So,
member.
I mean, I'm just basically just making sure that it's not a crazy wonky lead. I mean, there's been a couple leads that literally they have, scammed us.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, we're not going to call this guy again, because we've called him 6 times this year. And one time we tried to show up, and then he said, ha, 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 I'm going to waste your time. Like, you wasted mine.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just kind of a quick check just to make sure everything looks good. And then it goes straight to our acquisition managers or.
How important have we ever done a deal where we didn't talk to him, where it was all text?
Never. Nothing. Not my knowledge.
Nothing?
Nothing, no.
So we get them on the phone.
We do get them on the phone.
We got to see if they're
TTP.
serious. Yeah, that's it. That's it. I mean, so that's the key there. The key takeaway, obviously, get them on the phone, build that relationship. How does he not get burnout? How does Tao not get burnout from sending out texts and responding all day?
So Tao only works 30 hours a week.
Okay.
And we give him the
great.
flexibility to choose his hours. I mean, we know that there's some great times, like in the mornings and in the evenings. He's actually, if I remember correctly, I think he works in the restaurant industry.
He's a bar owner
Yeah.
in like Nicaragua or something like
Yeah.
some Central America country.
Yeah, so he has a full-time job, and he just kind of squeezes it in the morning and the evenings. He can do it at lunch, his lunch break if he wants. So,
Well, let's open this up, guys. We have we just gave you the stats. So let us know what questions that you have while Jackie and Jeremy are here, and we'll get those answered. All right. Christopher asks, "Hey Brent, what do you do if your average PP is different between PropStream and batch leads when trying to run comps. So that's interesting because you really use batch leads. You like pulling some lists from batch leads. You get in there to get your hands dirty. When I'm comping for students around the country, I use PropStream. It's just the app is phenomenal, and you can get right in and see the neighborhood, and it's great. Are you seeing much discrepancy between batch leads price and what you actually come up with?
Is he saying like the comps? Like the
Yeah, what purchase price, the
yeah.
value. What's the average, like, I assume the comp value.
The way I comp, I don't go off an average.
Okay.
I'm looking for
okay.
the highest,
Yeah.
best.
Yep.
I want to make it a deal.
Yep.
And then I let the buyers tell me it's not.
Okay.
And we have like a 5% cancel rate.
Yeah, but you
so-
got a comp.
Yeah, so I'm taking.
You're looking for one comp,
I'm
one
looking
solid
for
comp.
the top two.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not averaging out like a lot of people do.
Yeah.
I think I learned that from Jamil.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jamil's team.
Yep. Awesome. There you go. Jamil popping into the show. Shout out Jamil. Love you, buddy.
Yep.
Does Deal Machine run comps like PropStream from IG? D-Main official. Yeah, they do. They do. They come up with, but remember, it's an algorithm. So you can go, I mean, you can only go so far with it, right? You can't really rely on it. You need to learn how to run comps and find those two comps that that you can really pull from and really understand where the market potential is for that property. So you want to. It's a good kind of like indicator, but I've seen some way off. I've seen some way low. So make sure that you're running your own comps and seeing potential, especially in the bigger markets, especially in any of the bigger markets, guys. There's still lack of inventory, and the demand is so high that you've got a lot of people that wouldn't regularly be cash buyers coming into the market to buy it for their own residence, for their own property. I mean, agents are training their buyers right now to say, hey, listen, I've got this private money lender. They're going to cover this. It's called a bridge loan. You're going to be able to buy this house, and then you'll refi into a conventional long-term fixed loan, and it's going to be much better. But this is your only way that you can compete. And so we really push the values on all of those things. We don't kind of, we're always trying to test the market on what is the most we can push things for, especially this guy. He's got ice water in his veins. He's there you go.
This question has been asked multiple times.
Okay, this has been asked by Anthony?
No,
By different people. Okay, Anthony.
Text script.
What are some example opening text scripts you use? Words like property, offer, buy, etc. are on the suspect list. Raphael, I'll pass it to you, brother.
I have a handy dandy list. This is something that you're going to have to update anyways, but we have a list of templates which I'd be happy to share.
Okay.
It's the latest one. I think we just updated the templates on Tuesday or Wednesday or something like
Give us a for instance.
It's give me a sec, I can pull it up.
Okay. What are we doing?
We have about 40 or so opening texts that Batch just automatically filters. Rotates.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I think they all suck because of these words.
Right.
Right? Like, you're having to be so creative and getting out the thesaurus, and you're like, okay, what's another word for property?
I think that this is the biggest issue with text blasting.
Mm-hmm.
By far is the amount of spam words and the list as it keeps building.
And they change.
Right?
A name can even, like our texter, let's say we said Julia. Hi, I'm Julia, blah, blah, blah. Julia will get flagged as spam eventually.
I literally have texts right now on my phone that just say, what's up?
I know. You got to get creative.
Because once it delivers and they respond, then you can ask.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or how's it going? Or my name, ... And it's like, oh, okay, I see what's going on here. So there's a lot of that, Anthony. That is the biggest, biggest hurdle. I think that we're going to be moving to an age where it is that. I think it's just opening up conversations randomly and very mysteriously, and then being able to ask about the property once they respond.
And we're always having to change it too.
One of the biggest reasons that we had a drop in that delivery rate was because we were not identifying ourselves properly.
Right.
And Mychelle talked about that. So, like for example, we have a couple of dozen SMSs that just go on round robin, right? But the first one that goes out is the most important one. Like this is an example of one of those. Hi, this is Alex from Pulse Capital. I think I just drove past the residence you own on whatever the address is. Would you be open to talk for a minute? And something like that. Basically, what you're not looking at giving them the whole spiel there. All you want is a response back. Once you have a text back from that party, like game on, because now you can text whatever you want.
Love it.
But it's the opening text message, the one that really, really matters.
Love it. What's going on here, Daniel? Did the camera just die or something? You said, we got to get a wide thing for batch. Got it. Look at you guys. Where are we supposed to stand? I don't know. I'm seeing it here. Anyway, Michael, little off topic. I've been wholesaling full time since February, so this is my first Christmas Thanksgiving. How does this time of year affect things? Is there anything we should be aware of? By the way, what are we closing this month?
What's our number?
I don't. Oh gosh.
Is it over 4?
Probably.
I think it's.
It's at least 300,000, but I think it's close to 400,000.
Right.
Yeah.
With the rest of it trailing into December.
Yeah.
And how big's that?
Huge.
No, our quarter's over 500. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Oh, they're coming?
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Here's the batch team. Come here. You guys, Jeremy, Jackie, come
Jeremy,
here.
Jackie.
Here's the actual humans behind. Here we go.
Hey.
Here is the
What's
humans
up?
behind batch leads. Everybody. Here they are. Are they here? Are we looking here? Where are we looking? We're looking here. We're
What's
looking
up,
here.
Raphael?
Here we go. So guys, wave to them. They're all here. They're all working hard. This is who. If you've got questions about your services, these are the guys. Guys, they work really, 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 really hard. Just an unbelievable group. Yeah. So wave to everybody, and there you go. So they love you. There you go. They're real.
These are not people that we picked up from the parking lot. They really work a batch.
This
Thank
is
you,
a real
guys.
company. All right.
They're really just the homeless people across the street. But
Jackie loves her husband's jokes. Look at that. She loves them. By the way, guys, you guys might not know this, but for every TTP family member that comes into our office on Fridays, any of the coaching students get to come in, see everybody, break down, see our scoreboard. It's as we call radical transparency. But one of the big highlights is every Thursday night or Friday morning, Jeremy writes poetry to his lovely wife that gets said out loud to everybody so that he can confess his love every week. Isn't that nice?
That's
nice.
why he's so
That's
good.
an extra perk.
He's so good at making those text templates because he uses a lot of different words.
That's right.
yeah, I think one of the responses recently were like, "Are you trying to propose to me in the front of my yard?"
That's great.
But wait, let's go back to that holiday question.
Yes.
So one thing that's great about the holidays is you can use them to reach out to people to wish them happy holidays.
Yeah.
So that's great. Also, you could use that in your text blasting as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
That's exciting. The only thing I would say, I do think it can still be busy during the holidays. I would say don't text on Christmas Day.
Right.
Christmas Eve could be a little offensive.
No. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the only thing. You just want to be respectful of people's time. I mean, if you've been following up with somebody, there's no big deal the 23rd being like, hey, I know we haven't talked in a long time. We talked last month. You're not ready to sell for 6 months, but I just wanted to wish you happy holidays. But, text blasting, don't do it on Christmas. But otherwise, just go.
Awesome.
I'm gonna be a little blunt about this one, just because I just had the conversation with one of my students.
Love it.
What's the biggest thing that happens when somebody starts cold calling? It's fear, right? They don't do it.
Yeah.
And we'll use any excuse
Of course.
to not do it. So at the end of the day, a lot of this just the foundation of all these thoughts is fear. The fear of rejection. We'll use holidays. We'll use whatever to not do it. Now, what I'm trying to get to is that. Think about all the people who are in the business who are having the same thought. Everybody's going to market the first 3 quarters of the year, and then the fourth one, they'll find an excuse not to do it. Right. It's the holidays.
Right.
It's the month of
Right.
Whatever.
Yep.
And that drops. I mean, you have that much more opportunity to land a deal. So, Michael, it's just go for it.
Awesome.
Yeah, go for it.
Awesome. Do we have any celebrations yet? We got to get some celebration, guys. We need to post. Got a deal yesterday from Texas. There it is. You're like reading my mind. Alejandro's like, it's coming. It's coming. Here we go. Derek. What did he say, Jackie? What did he say here?
He said he got a
9 deals in
deal
6 weeks.
yesterday. Yeah.
Seller said he gets calls, texts every day and deletes them, but for giggles, he wanted to see what I would offer. That's the 9th deal in the last 6 weeks from texts. Come on, Derek. I love it. That is amazing.
Derek should have
love
led with that.
it. Yeah.
You should have led with
Hey,
that
no,
one, bro.
you know what? It's the big finale. It's the bam. It's the big punch.
Is that the same Derek?
I love it. Grant made 135K off 7 deals using batch text over the last 3 months. Definitely still working. Grant, here we go. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. There you go. Guys, plenty of opportunities out there. The biggest year for us ever.
Yeah.
Biggest year, right? Big bonuses coming. Big time bonuses coming.
Yeah, I think we took advantage of Brent when he had a cocktail and he offered us a nice bonus.
Yeah, well, it's well worth it. Laura, we all get those cuckoo's SMS responses. Had a person text me from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. nonstop and cost me some money. Is there a way to block somebody from doing this?
Oh yeah, you just so on batch at least you can put like on the do not contact list. There's a little button. It's a circle with like a.
Even if they're responding to you?
Well, that's a good question. That
gotta
might be a
be.
Mychelle question.
Because you could, when the text comes in and it goes in inbox, you get to select which little file to go.
Yeah.
And you can put DNC and it disappears.
I'm pretty sure DNC
But
they would
this
block
person
them.
Block
might
it.
not be
Try
texting
the
batch.
DNC, Laura. There you go.
If it's not batch,
if you're doing it through batch. If not, just talk to your platform or your service provider and ask them how to avoid that, because that is obnoxious. That is, I'll tell you what, that's a person that has some time.
Oh yeah.
That's some person that's a person that's going to spend all day in the metaverse. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe we all will. Who knows?
But you know what we should bring up is voicemails that come from text messaging.
Oh, Jackie, you are on fire. Tell me about it.
So one thing that Mychelle brought up was that number that literally all
Call forwarding number.
Yeah, the forwarding number. So that is huge. I would not recommend doing it to your cell phone because you will get like 20, 30 calls a day of people literally being like, get me off your list,
Yeah.
and screaming and being not nice.
Yeah.
So I would
Sure.
recommend a call rail number or, any other service, just a number that literally forwards to this number. I would not recommend round robbing, answering it live. We have tried that. It's not pleasant. It doesn't, if someone's motivated, they're going to leave a message. But it does go to a voicemail, and you do a really lovely voicemail, explaining, who you are, blah, 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 and then they can leave a voicemail. I listen to those every single day, and we have gotten our biggest deal ever. Well, it might not be. It was our biggest deal.
It used to be.
Right.
It's not going to be anymore, but it was $115,000. It was a deal from
An eightplex.
an eightplex,
Oh,
who
that's
then
right.
had their best friend give us another house for like $40,000. So
So what are you looking for on those voicemails?
honestly, as long as they're not yelling, I'm gonna call it.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
Some of them, you have to protect your company name, obviously, because some of them are calling still. They will be sneaky. They'll be like, hi, you're calling about my property on Werther Lane. Give me a call back. And then you call them back and they're like, I don't own that property on Werther Lane. How dare you mess with me? Like all this stuff.
Sassy.
Super sassy.
Yeah.
But I still think they're worth a call.
Yeah.
But it's anybody who, is nice, who's just saying, give me a call back. We are going to call back.
Awesome.
And don't listen to those with children around.
Oh, yeah, don't. There's some crazy things that
Oh,
they
you
say.
mean don't put them on speakerphone
Yeah.
or your
No.
children are
Yeah.
walking around?
No.
Yeah, got it. Okay. So no Google Voice number. No, I mean we use all the batch numbers. What's that?
He was talking about that.
Oh, you could. I don't
Oh.
know. You could. I mean, I like CallRail because you can round robin it. You can.
Is that who we use?
Yeah, that's what we use.
Yeah.
CallRail. I don't have experience with Google Voice numbers, so I can't tell you yes or no. I can just tell you we use CallRail and it works. And those numbers some of them we've had for 4 years and they're still alive. And we're getting mailer calls, that Brent did back in the day. They're literally asking for Brent. Or they're like, I talked
Yeah.
to Brent a long time ago,
Uh-huh.
ready to sell my
That's right.
house.
That's right.
So-
Called impact people.
Yeah, we use Google Voice. Our acquisition managers use it if they don't want their personal cell phone. They use
Right.
Google Voice, no problems. But for this, we just use CallRail.
So when you get a voicemail in and you hear it, who makes the call back? Is it Chad? Is it
Usually
our caller?
it's Chad. Yeah.
Chad is our junior acquisition manager. So Chad is the one that is making the most calls and the most contacts, and then gets it over to Ryan, who is our closer, who's our head acquisition manager.
Yeah, and Chad's been doing 70 to 60 a day. He's on fire. He's been really motivated.
Yeah, because he loves that bonus.
Yeah, he talks a lot about that bonus.
Talks all about it.
He's just like,
He's asking my dad all the time. My dad's my CFO, and he's like, hey, what do you think that bonus is going to be?
every day.
Every day. Imperial Estates. When I skip trace with batch, it gives me back up to 10 numbers. However, the property info takes up to 5 fields for numbers. Which one get to the property of the 10? The first two, statistically, are 88%. The first one is 88%. The second one's like 10%. And I think the rest of them like all share that like 2%. So really the first two numbers are going to be the most accurate. And then, so we only upload what? The first two? 2 to 3?
I think we might even do 4 sometimes, depending.
Oh, for texting?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it'll filter out the landlines, so
Right.
that'll take away a
Yep.
lot of them.
Yep. Awesome. Good question. Jason Harris, is sending as 1K SMS even worth it now? Raphael, why don't you get into quality over quantity?
Absolutely. I mean, think of this as as it's a supplementary thing to cold calling and any other campaign that you have in place, right? But yeah, it's when it comes to quality, you have to watch out for quality on both the front end and the back end. What I mean by that is on the back end, it's going to be your numbers, like we were talking about earlier. It's going to be any red flag words. Make sure that it's up and running. Throwing 1,000 numbers, 1,000 SMSs out there is going to give you a good response rate, and it's absolutely worth it. On the front end, I mean, it's going to depend on where you're pulling your information from and skip tracing and everything. But one thing that I love doing is we'll go heavy on stacked lists. So we'll pull data. For example, we'll pull an absentee owners list.
What's a stacked list?
It's a list of different, it's one compiled list of different lists that you have inside your database. So we pull out the batch leads. We have 1,000 lists in there, right? And each one of those lists represents a pain point. So we'll pull, something that has 5 different pain points, meaning.
So you're talking pre-foreclosure, tax default, code violation, driving for dollars.
Exactly.
Land, like all these things, right?
So there's going to be a time where you're buying enough data, and if you put it on there and start stacking it, the quality of the data, it's going to, you're going to be able to pull out the quality if you stack it, right? So it's one of the things that we do. We just pull a list, and then if you have, for example, if you're only going to send out, 1,000 text messages, or you have a budget to send 2,000 a week or something, you want to make it count, right? That's where the real quality comes from. It's going to come from inside your data, and this is driving for dollars properties. Like, that's an individual list. Only you have that because only you drove that.
Right.
So yeah, absolutely. Putting 1,000 out there, yeah, it's definitely worth it.
Stack list, Jason.
Yeah.
Stack the lists. Yeah.
And we are only sending 1,000 a day right now.
Right.
After we fired the other guy, kind of going through this transition period, finding out about this 10 DSL or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
We went down to 1,000 a
DLC,
day.
yeah.
And we still got a deal, 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago, off texting.
Yeah.
For SMS, I know you guys you have somebody that's dedicated for the SMS. I do a split. My lead manager does, she'll pre-qualify the leads that come in from the cold callers, and then she also handles the SMS.
Love it.
So it's not an extra, payroll or anything. It's just, an added thing on there.
So give me if he sends out, what's the strategy that Tao uses? Does he send out 1,000 first thing in the morning and then responds to whoever comes through, or is he breaking that up so that he can respond? Like, if you send out 1,000 and, 30% respond or 10% respond or whatever, that's 100 text messages that you're like, oh my gosh, how do I respond? Like, does he break it up?
He does. He sends out about 250, 300 at a time.
And then he'll respond, and
Do it
then
again.
how long is he in the hot zone? You know what I mean? Like, once he sends it to 250, I assume that most of the responses are pretty fast. And so, is it the next hour? He's ba.
And you'll be surprised. It doesn't take too long to respond because 80% of them are get lost.
Right.
And you're just clicking not interested down the list.
Right.
It's probably hot for about an hour.
Yeah.
And then some more responses trickle in throughout the day. And then he probably goes back to his job, comes back, does it again, and he's going back and forth. And I think that's what makes Tal so good of a texter, is a lot of people are like, I'm working 4 hours in the morning, and they're missing that response time all at night, or when people get off work. It's really nice to have a texter, or you yourself text in the morning, respond in the afternoon, text again, and always responding throughout the day.
Right.
And it makes them feel like you're a real person, not like a robot working for a company.
Yeah.
What's that company called? Spammers.
Right.
Spammers.
Like a AI texting you. Or something.
Yeah, like an AI.
Yep. Awesome. Is there web form within batch leads? Leo Felix. I have no idea what that question means. Do you know what he's talking about?
Oh yeah.
Do you know what he's talking about?
I do.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
It's the form where you can automatically transfer to Podio or your CRM, your web form.
Yeah, there is something in there. We have not been utilizing it just because we have a web form that just works, and Raphael.
So Raphael.
Yeah, Raphael set it up.
Let's let
for us.
Raphael answer this question.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I was like, you should know.
To be here all week.
He's the one who set ours up.
Yeah.
No, there is. So there's an integration. If you're using Podio, you can do Zapier integration. I think that's what he's talking about.
Yep.
How do you send it from batch to your CRM? We have that, the operating system, the Podio's operating system. So we integrated a webhook. You click a button, it sends everything in. But there's also, if you're using Podio and not, doesn't matter what setup, there's a web form that you can pull from Podio. And what we do when I have cold callers is that instead of typing in the information and then sending it from there, I have them actually type it into the web form of the Podio. So they have a side-by-side window. It's the simplest way to do it, honestly.
Love it.
Because you're going to switch 99% of the time, you're testing out different dialers.
Yep.
And every time you switch dialers, you'll have to switch the integration. So
Got
just
it.
do a web form. Yeah.
Awesome. There you go. Juanita, if the lead has one strong pillar, should you call them right away or try to schedule a time to talk?
Call them right away.
Yeah. Get them, Juanita. Come on. Absolutely right away. Go after it. Yeah. If they're responding to you and they beyond just I'll sell it. What's your offer? And you're asking them, well, I'd love to give you an offer. Can you tell me if you've done any remodeling in the last 5 years to your kitchen baths, or can you tell me about the condition or whatever response? Is there specific things? Does he go condition first? Does he go price first? Do you know which?
It depends on the
when
response.
we're calling, we want to get condition first because it opens up the conversation. It's the easiest barrier to entry for them to really start communicating with us, is asking them about the house, because it takes the shine off of them and their situation, puts it onto the house, and most people are comfortable talking about their house. So I would assume he probably goes towards trying to find something out. When you're seeing these leads come in, is there something specific that he's pulling out to get a pillar?
Yeah, usually it's based on condition, even time. I mean, it could be any of them. Timeline, motivation.
We train them the
price.
same way as the cold callers.
Yeah,
We do.
That's right.
They go right after that condition. Even as, hey, what's your offer? Hey, we'd love to give you an offer, but the condition of the property.
Love it. What's the condition?
What's the condition?
Basically.
Boom.
But
Yep.
just different ways to ask that. Yep. Love it. What's your response to, who is this?
Isn't it usually like we're a local investor?
Yeah, we're a local home buyer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. We're a local home buyer looking to buy a home in the neighborhood. Just wanted to reach out and see if you would consider a cash offer on your property.
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. What's the best way to build a buyer's list? Oh, somebody. I'll tell you what, great question coming from Instagram here, because you've got the guy here that's averaging $40K a deal. So obviously you don't get that without incredible negotiating by Ryan and Chad, but also unbelievable cash buyer database.
Yep. And I mean,
Network.
I was lucky enough to inherit one that already existed. But if
Billy
you're-
Bell built
Yep.
it. Yep.
But if you're starting from scratch,
But you're still building it.
Oh yeah, I'm still
Yeah.
building it. So
You gotta
I would
constantly-
recommend, especially if you're in a big market, go out on Facebook, join all the real estate investor groups you can. Every single one. Like Phoenix has groups with 65,000 people in them. And I hired a VA, $2 an hour. Go in there and I use my personal Facebook, and she goes in there and she has this cookie cutter message that I have her send out to all these 65,000 people in every group, just asking, hey, are you looking for
Like a
houses to
DM?
remodel. Yeah, direct message on
Right.
Facebook. And they respond if they're interested, and they give me their email or phone number.
Also, just listen, we have a cash buyer pack. It's all laid out. It's in TTP Insider, cash buyer pack. TTP Insider shows you how to get the top 100 buyers. This is how Billy and I built this list that Jeremy took over once Billy, got, too big for his britches. No, he just made too much money. He wanted to travel the world. So
Yep.
he has an incredible business, just gallivanting around the world and making $500,000 doing it. But it's based on the principles that we use to build our cash buyer database. I'm telling you, it is the most effective way to get your first 100, and then from there it's about trading up, and it's about connecting, and then it's about reaching out, being proactive to people in the community, and you can do that with VA. So definitely check out that Cash Buyer Pack and ttpinsider.com. Guys, if you have not subscribed to this channel, come on, what are we doing? Like every single day we come out with the content that you can implement into your business right now. Make sure that you subscribe. I know most of the people that watch our content are subscribers. That should tell you something. Upwards to like 70% of our views is subscribers, not just people stumbling across us. This is like the secret area. This is like the secret island that people go to get the most accurate information, most accurate instruction that they need to grow their business. So make sure you subscribe, like the channel, hit the bell. There I am. Boom. Dylan, seller says to have inspection period done before they sign the agreement. Doesn't leave me the opportunity to bring in buyers after locking up the deal. How would you handle this? I'm curious to hear what you have to say, but I definitely have a response to this.
We've had leads that say this, and most of the time, if they truly have motivation, they're going to give you an inspection period.
Okay.
And so Ryan goes in there and does a great job and gets an inspection period. He's like, how do you expect me? I'm a serious buyer. This is what we do. This is how we run our business. And you just kind of set the parameters, and if they're motivated, they're gonna go with what you say.
If they listen, this isn't even the worst case, Dylan. Mm-hmm. We have sellers that go, hey, listen, you can't see the house. You just give me an offer. To which we say, okay, well, here's the price. There's always a price. Well, there will be a price that we will buy property sight unseen. I don't care what the condition of it is, right? I don't care what's going on inside. We'll do a drive-by. We'll do some aerial shots. We'll take a look. But if they're letting you actually get in there, take pictures of it, have no inspection period, just make sure that it is a deal.
Smoking deal, yep.
It's got to be a smoking deal. And the way to guarantee it is pre-sell it to one of your buyers, right? You should have 3 to 5 to 10 to 20 trusted, very trusted buyers that are so good at what they do. They don't even want to drive to the property. Most of the properties we sell is sight unseen anyway, right?
I'd say 90%.
90%. Mm-hmm. 90% of the properties we sell, the buyer never sees it.
Yep.
Right.
Here in Phoenix.
Right. So here's the thing.
Tucson, we got to work a little bit more.
Sure. But what I'm telling you is, if you've got the pictures and you can send it to your buyer, and they're saying I don't want an inspection period, you can already pre-sell it and have that done before you commit to it. Fantastic. What's the difference? What's the difference? And then also, if you really think it's a smoking deal, how much earnest are they asking you to put down? What risk do you have if you have to cancel? Now, one, we don't like canceling deals. We hate canceling deals. That's why we lock up deals that we know we can close on, and we're going to perform if we have to, right? That's what I look at. Would I close on this? Yes, great. Now, try to sell it, Jeremy. Or we're just going to take this thing down and clean it up and put it on the market, which we've been doing more and more of. So, yeah, Dylan, go ahead.
One really good thing to do in inspections, doesn't matter if it's before or after, like this scenario, is to take a detailed video of the whole thing. I mean, the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? We call it. But take a video. Besides the pictures, you want as much information as you can, especially if you're not going to be able to have anybody walk through the property. And yeah, absolutely have an A-list. The A-list is that small list that you call.
Love it.
You actually call them, not just send them an email.
Love it.
Yeah.
Nice. There you go. Christopher, 70% rule seems outdated. Is there a better way to see what buyers are paying in each market? Christopher, it is. Well, here's the thing, Christopher. It really depends. I assume that if you're looking at this, you're probably in a bigger market. I don't know. I'm making a huge an assumption here. I'm just taking a leap because here, I mean, we're selling things at 90%, right?
Minus repairs.
Right. So it's different in every single market. What I will say is that rule, I think, really goes into effect. If you really look at the core of what that came from, it's really typically in lower priced markets where people really liked going into from a cash flow standpoint and buy and hold type of standpoint, or, you know, some flips. But, you know, in this industry, in the real estate coaching industry, you start with, or what kind of happened is people would go, hey, listen, if you want to do fix and flips, because wholesaling really wasn't taught, if you want to do fix and flips, well, we have to go with people that have the money to be able to do the fix and flips, which means mom and pops, which means that you have a smaller budget, which means that the prices are probably below $150,000 to be able to buy it, repair it, and make a profit. So that rule was in effect, and that's why it's outdated. Because one, property values are more now. Two, people are willing to pay more for these properties. I mean, you see hedge funds all the time. You see iBuyers all the time. You see these you know, huge turnkey rental property companies pop up. Like, there's so many other avenues now that you need to increase that. I have a ton of breakdowns in this on this channel on what to do to figure out what to offer on there.
Also, one super easy way to do research in every market is to get sign up to wholesalers lists.
Yeah.
Sign up to wholesalers lists. Pay close attention to the addresses that come through, and then follow that transaction. It's gonna take you know, maybe a couple of weeks of research, but sign up to those lists and then follow that property. A couple of weeks after that, go check into batch leads or something somewhere. If you have access to the MLS, you're going to be able to see how much it's sold for, and then you're going to get a pretty good picture, especially doing any type of virtual stuff where you're not, you know, boots on the ground. So.
Yep. And I'm just for everybody to have it. Can you see me over here, Daniel?
Yep.
Okay. So there you go. There's your breakdown right here, right? If it's above 250, Dylan, 66% is typically where you want to be at for your offer price. If it's between 250 and 100,000, 50%, and if it's 100,000, you want to be at about 25% for what you can offer the property owner. All right, that's just quick. Yeah. Brent and team, there you go for your offer. The 84% rule. Does this cover acquisition, closing costs, and carry 6 months for the buyer? I'm using 9% of ARV for that. We use 6%. That's what we got, Jose. You know, it's interesting. I know that from an analytical standpoint, people are going to really grill me on this and really get like, you know, emotional about it. But I don't take into account carrying costs. We don't. We don't. I mean, I know that it's there, but we just don't carry it because right now in our market, and listen, this is market to market. So if you are seeing that your deals are too tight, then build that in. But the real question there, Jose, is if you could get the property, you know, if you could get the property less, why wouldn't you get it less on the initial negotiating from 6% to 9%? If you could get 3% off every time to account for that, I would push value on the Dispo side more than I would worry about the costs. But for us in our market, by the time somebody has bought a property, fixed it up, and puts it on the market, it could be worth 5, 10, 20% more than what they bought it for.
Yep, 100%.
The ARV
and
would be
that,
and that's in a lot of the major markets. If it's not, if you're looking and you have kind of a stable kind of appreciation and think prices aren't jumping off the charts in your market, then I think that would be a smart move there, Jose. I just, you know, I would rather try to push the Dispo side, if that makes sense.
And you don't know the end buyer situation.
Right.
He might be an agent,
Yep.
so he doesn't have to do that 6% real estate commissions.
Yep.
He might have cash, might not have any hard money loan. You just don't know the end buyer situation, so we don't really account for that.
Yeah. There you go. Loveline Nick, hey Brent, calculating ARV. Seller's home is 2-story, 3-1.
Hate 3-1s.
Oh, I hate 3-1s. 1,300 square feet. There's no other comparable except 2-story, 3-2, 1,300 square feet, 1-story, 3-2, 1,000 square feet. Can I use these as a comp? Yeah, I would. I mean, if you've got a 2-story, that's a 3-2, 1,300 square feet. How much would you take off for a bathroom?
About 20 grand.
Minimum. I mean, it depends on what the ARV is there, Loveline Nick. Love Live Nick. I wonder what that's about.
Love
Is
Live.
this a fans only type thing, Nick? What's going on?
OnlyFans?
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, one bathroom. Listen, if you have one bathroom in Phoenix versus one bathroom versus 2 bathroom, it could be the difference between 40 or 50,000. Truly, 20 grand's a good basis. If you can't find, I would be interested to see if you can find any 1 bathrooms and just see what the price difference is. But I think the 2-story, make sure that you compare 2 stories to 2 stories. If it's got that 1 bathroom more, I would probably go 20,000. And what I would do is I would call a real estate agent. I'd go to realtor.com. I'd go to find real estate agent. I'd go to that zip code, put in that zip code. I'd find who the top agent is, and I'd say, hey, listen, I'm looking to flip properties in the area. I'm just wondering, what's the price difference between a 1 bathroom versus a 2 bathroom in this area? And I would ask them to get. That's one phone call. That's 180 seconds of your life to ask that question.
Yeah, one good thing to keep in mind too is a conforming rehab. So if you were to add a conforming bathroom to the area, for example, here we have Arcadia, right? A bathroom there is going to be 50, 60. When if we go to South Phoenix or somewhere else, it's going to be $15,000-$20,000.
Right.
So keep in mind just what the conforming values are for rehab, also, and then take that away. But yeah, you can use that comp, I think.
Love it. Are you guys still wholesaling more than flipping and holding?
Yes.
Yeah.
90% wholesaling.
Yeah.
It's just
I mean, but just big well, I mean, if you look at transactions, yes.
Oh, yeah.
But profit,
Yeah.
we've had some bangers.
All
The
recent
big
flips
6 figures we close. Anytime it's a big deal, Michael, we're going to close, and that's technically a flip. As soon as you take ownership of it, you're a flipper. You know what I'm saying? And remember, wholesaling, really wholesaling is just the art of finding discounted properties. What we're talking about is, are we assigning it or are we flipping it? So,
what about holding, Brent? Are you guys still holding stuff?
No. Some things I'm looking to do more. My wealth manager wants me to buy a lot more real estate because I just paid a whole bunch in income tax. But I don't mind that. I really don't. I've been thinking about this a lot. That's the rent we pay to live in this country. Everybody wants to avoid taxes, and I get it, and you want to be able to build wealth and go for it. But it goes to the community. You know what I mean? It goes to everybody. Whatever. It's given back. In my mind, at least that's what I'm convincing myself of. I mean, I do. That's
Brent's single-handedly fixing the roads and our freeways.
Yeah.
Putting everybody's kids through college.
Jason, is it a good practice to ask your buyers first what they would pay for a specific property before locking up a deal? Jason, I did this when I started every single time because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to commit to anything. And in the beginning, it was a partnership between me and another guy that had the money. So that was really easy to do because he had the capability to buy a lot of properties. And I was real confident with my ability to comp, but I just wanted to make sure. And so that really helped out. That's something that I do. I think a mentor can do that, a local mentor. Or if you have a coach or something, they can help comp that. That's what I do, 80 times a day with the TTP family and the coaching students. So just having like a backup so that they know the prices and really feel confident moving forward. But I think just having somebody that can look at it even if it's not a buyer. The risk that you run with buyers is you really have to trust them. Because if they say something to somebody, their acquisition manager, their buddy they're having lunch with somebody, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm checking out this deal. Where is it? Here it is." And then that guy goes and tries to backdoor. You just want to make sure that it's somebody that you trust. Yeah. Love it. David, hello guys. Have you all done any notice of interest of contract with a seller to sell your deal on the MLS?
We don't sell any of our deals on the MLS.
Unless we own them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no, David, here's the thing. I tried this out with Billy Bell, who was Dispo before Jeremy joined. And the issue that we ran into, honestly, was educating the agents. Agents really had a problem with understanding what the assignment was. Right? Have you run it? Have you put anything on the MLS? Right.
No, we haven't done anything.
No, yeah, it's just agents are going to be like, wait a second, what's going on here? You have a contract on it, and then you got to educate them that you have you have the equitable interest in the whole thing, and that some agents get it, some don't, and then some complain that they didn't get their offer accepted, and then it just turns into a whole bunch of drama. And what we have found is when we were testing it out, we made more money wholesaling it to our cash buyers than we did on the MLS. That's
still
true.
happening sometimes too.
Oh, for sure. For sure. If you build up a big, robust cash buyer database, you win. Right, Jackie?
Yes, exactly.
I love it.
Hey Brent, let
Yeah.
me throw this out there real quick because I think it links to the last question before this one too. Calling your buyers, I mean that tells me that his buyer list it's limited.
Yeah.
It's a small.
Yeah.
If you're calling somebody before you lock up the deal, it's probably. I mean, it's a very small list. So focus. I mean, that's a symptom, right? Focus on growing that buyers list as opposed to just having that sense of insecurity when it comes to running the numbers on deals.
Love it. There you go. Look how close you guys are together. I feel like I'm on an island over here. There we go. That's nice. That's nice. How do you find your VAs, Jackie?
Oh gosh, what is that website? What is that website?
Well,
There's a
VA. Well,
website.
it just depends on what you mean by VA. Most people mean VA.
For texting, it was VA Hub, right? Which is
Start Virtual now. That's Pace Morby's
Start
business.
Virtual. Uh-huh.
But the VAs. So when it comes to callers,
I'm gonna look it up.
first of all, well, I know it. So, yeah. So let me. There's a difference between virtual assistants that are actual assistants and phone prospectors. So if you're talking about phone prospectors, you got a couple different options. You've got, if you want to get a managed, I highly suggest that you get somebody that's managed, they're trained, they understand it, they have experience, and that's callingreps.com. Callingreps.com. It's run by Max Fish. He's phenomenal, and they do a great job. And then on the other side, you've got the premium, which is the callmotivatedsellers.com, and that's $20 an hour. Calling Reps is $10 an hour. Call Motivated Sellers is $20 an hour, and those are expatriates, so Americans that are living abroad that make the calls for you, and we found just incredible quality from them.
Upwork.
Oh yeah.
Upwork, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot. It
Well,
was,
Upwork is Lisa.
Yeah, so like a virtual
I've had a
assistant.
virtual assistant, Lisa, that works with Jackie now for years, and she's my longest person. I mean, she's been with me for 6 or 7 years. Yeah,
She cleans up lists,
Yeah.
helps with the leads,
yeah.
all the
she's
little
phenomenal.
things.
Yeah, she works with a lot of my coaching students as well. What's your response to where am I going to go? You want to throw me out on the street?
Well, that's not a motivated person.
No, Jared, come on. Why are you playing?
Throw
Why are
me
you
out
playing
on the
home?
street.
No, I mean, some people ask that question, and obviously, you got to pull it back. You confirm and approve everything that people are saying. Listen, I don't want to throw you out in the street. I just want to see if you're ready to sell your property. If not, I totally understand. But do you have any other properties that maybe you would consider an offer on, or have you thought about selling your property? Or if you did sell your property, where would you move to next? You know what I mean? Throw in some open-ended questions, but confirm, approve, confirm, approve, confirm, approve. Oh, I don't want to throw you out into the street.
No.
By no means, not at all, absolutely not. I just wanted to see if the timing was right for you to take advantage of the market right now, for you to sell your property in a market that keeps going up, or in a great market for selling. Dylan, which words need to be avoided when sending initial texts that are tagged by carriers? Dylan, they have all. It would be. We would have to do 2 hours of them. Batch has them. on a list. Batch has them in the on the platform of all of the spam words to avoid, right?
Usually all carriers, because we used to use Lead Sherpa, and I believe they also had a list as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything in the cold calling script.
Oh, it's Braden.
Jackie's the best. I miss working for her. She gives great energy to the team. Such a great leader. Jeremy is okay.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay.
Thanks, Braden.
Braden's
Jeremy's
the best.
okay.
Braden was with Call Motivated Sellers.
Yep.
This is fantastic.
More gold nuggets than a Carlton Sheets VHS tape. You know it, Derek. Every Wednesday, bro. I don't know. I cannot imagine why people would not subscribe to this channel if you are a full-time real estate entrepreneur. I'm telling you, it is. Carlton Sheets is OG, but come on. Can't believe you do this for free. That's right, Derek. That's right, absolutely.
Be
We
kind
love it.
and
Listen,
rewind.
listen. It is important that this community has all the tools it needs to go out and serve the community. There's 12 million vacant properties that have been vacant over a year. This is the 2020 census that have been vacant for over 12 million plus properties, right? There are owners of properties that are going back to the state, going back to the bank every single day. We can help people out. We can help them. They don't know what to do. We need to be loud. We need to go out there. We need to serve the 6 to 10% of the real estate community that is not going to serve themselves, that have some sort of distress, whether it be the condition of the property, their financial distress, or their emotional distress. That's our job. That's why we get paid what we do to solve these problems. Have we ever worked with somebody that's just like, yeah, just take this wonderful house and I don't have any problems?
No,
Right?
No, they're always distressed in some way.
Right. Michael, best way to continue growing cash buyer lists? I got about 500, but work with about 20. That's the answer right there, Michael. I told you right now. If you're only reaching out to those 20, are you blasting it to all 500? Are you giving preference to those 20? What we have found is, some of the top guys, we don't even let them know about the deals until we blast it out to everybody else to see if there's somebody out there, because the people that buy the most properties typically won't pay the most per property. But the people that are going to put in the work themselves or have a buyer, an agent that has a buyer that wants to live in that neighborhood, that's when you get the massive deals.
And Michael, here's a nugget that I do personally.
Let's go.
And a lot of wholesalers might think I'm crazy.
Okay.
But I network with other wholesalers
Yep.
and use their lists as well. We have a lot of middlemen here in Phoenix that all they do is Dispo, and they add 2,000-3,000 onto your price. But that way,
No. Break that down, because what the industry is conditioned to
not work with other wholesalers.
No. It's conditioned that if I take it to another wholesaler, they're taking 50% of the deal.
So yeah, I get a lot of guys that they call it a JV. They want to JV it.
Yep.
I just say, hey, listen, the way I work, if you bring me the highest offer, the property's yours.
Yep.
That's all I tell them. I go, you're not signing anything. I'm not giving you an option. If you bring me the highest offer, the property's yours. Just make sure they know that. Then now you get to use everyone's list that you
Yeah,
can
but
network
you stick
with.
to our price.
Yeah. Oh no, I'll even get above our price sometimes.
Right, but how do they get paid?
They go back to their seller or their buyer, and they go, hey, he wants 150.
Right.
Can you do 153? Or
Right.
he doesn't say that he wants 150. He goes, hey, he wants 152. Or
Add-
153.
add
I don't
your
know
fee
how
on
they're
top.
So
working
they
it.
add
Yeah.
on top of
Yeah.
our price.
Yeah, add your fee on top type
There you
stuff.
go.
And if you're doing your job right, they're only getting 2, 3, 4,000, 5,000. And if you're getting back that settlement statement and you see 30,000, 40,000, you're not doing your job right. You gotta TTP it too on the Dispo side.
Yeah.
Hey, I got 3 other people that want the property. Come back and bring me your highest and best.
Love it. Jade, what numbers are more accurate? Batch skip tracing or batch dialer? It's the same. Same database. Batch leads, batch skip tracing, batch dialer, batch driven, all the same database of numbers. Yeah.
The services are different. So batch skip tracing is going to give you the phone numbers,
Right.
and then batch dialer doesn't give you the phone numbers for the property sellers.
I think she maybe means batch leads.
Yeah.
Batch leads you can skip trace through.
Yeah.
Yeah. which is great, so that you avoid doing, paying for the numbers over and over. Ad Boosting 101 asks, how do I find a wholesaler in Florida? Best social media to find a good wholesaler. Well, if you're looking for one, guys, everybody in Florida, reach out to Ad Boosting 101 here. I would be more specific, Ad Boosting, just because of your name. I feel like maybe you're looking to partner or provide your services to these people. So be clear about what you're looking for. If you're looking to help people out, fantastic. If you're looking for deals, you're going to find a lot more attention is going to be thrown your way. So are you looking for deals, or are you looking to help people out in their business? Let us know.
And maybe with our contact info too, right? Like an email.
Netflix TTV channel. That's right. That's right. Is bananas. There you go. I love it. Love it. Love it. Laura, this field can create a lot of letdown. When you have days like this, this is for you. This is for you. Yes. When you have days like, because you're in the nitty gritty, you see the ins, the outs, the ups, the downs, the emotions. You know what's going on with not only the buyer, but the seller, you know what's going on with the buyer, you know what's going on with the team. So this field can create a lot of letdown, Laura says. When you have days like this, what can you suggest we do to motivate ourselves?
I think one of the biggest things I've learned is because when you are able to create a team, I know that really helps. Like, for example, we did mailer calls, and I found that it does suck my soul a little bit to be yelled at 50 times in a day.
Right.
So knowing your strengths, right? So I know for me, like, I can maybe do 3 or 4 a day, but 50 was a little much. Mm-hmm. So, hiring out, even if it's a VA, at one point we had like call porter taking our calls to kind of alleviate. Like, you don't want to be doing something that's sucking your soul out, I think is number one. But if it's just like, you can handle it, you've got a thick skin, then honestly, I just think it's about like centering it's like psychological. It's like centering yourself in the morning, taking your break at lunch to kind of read something that's uplifting, even watching these kinds of videos where you're seeing people's success, like knowing that it's out there. Sometimes it's like, yes, we have a lot of success. There'll be some weeks where it's like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. But then we'll have like a dry week or two where you're kind of like, uh-oh, is the market changing? What's going on? And then you hear somebody else who got a deal in our market. So you know that nothing's changing. It's just kind of you getting in your head. I think sometimes no's can be very discouraging, but remembering that for like whatever, every 100 no, there's always going to be that one yes, and focusing on that.
And remember, Laura, all motivation is imagination. That's what it is. You're imagining these incredible things. You're imagining the success that you're having. You're imagining your life. You're imagining your value you're providing to the world without getting there, right? That's the motivation. That's the motivation. You're seeing it. You see maybe somebody's business or people that you surround yourself with that are successful, and you imagine you being able to do that as well, and then that leads you to taking the action. And that leads to the education, that leads to that security, right? And so it starts with the imagination. So I think on days like that, you got to really go and get inside and really discover, okay, what do I believe is the potential here? Can I imagine is a great day, a great situation, a great appointment, you know what I mean? We're playing this in our mind. It's when our imagination goes to that other side, the fear, the doubt, the anxiety, the stress, that really starts playing on us. Go ahead, Raf.
I think I'm going to take it back to the beginning of the live, because you opened it up with that.
Yep.
So, Laura, if you missed the beginning of it, Brent laid out a blueprint of how to kind of craft your vision as you're going through it. So that's very important, right? To have that, the team, the sales, the service. But I think one of the biggest things that drives us while we're feeling down is the level of impact that we can have, the level of impact that we can have in our own lives, life by design, owning our options, type of stuff. More importantly, though, the level of contribution that we can leave out there. When we are successful, it becomes a responsibility, right? That, and then mix it in with consistency and persistency. Sometimes you just have to go through the motions. You don't feel like it. You don't feel like picking up that phone. You don't feel like having that follow-up conversation. You don't feel like it, but still go through the motions, because the same way that you're not feeling it right now, you're gonna get super excited once you get that, that yes. And this is a roller coaster of a ride.
Yep.
You can have the highest high in the morning, be at the bottom of your emotional capacity by 11 a.m., 12, and then by 1 p.m. you're back up there. So
that's right.
It's a roller coaster.
That's right. There you go.
Thank
Virtual hug. You got it. Soon we'll be in the metaverse, Laura. Giving a group hug.
And we will hug for real.
Metaverse.
I'm going down a rabbit hole with that stuff. That is, I can't wait. I told Matt, I said, you know, this show's going to be on the metaverse here. We're gonna have the whole thing. We're going to be crazy. We're going to really be able to light a flamethrower off. And you
the
can't
audience.
stop me, Matt. You can't stop me. All right, Chris Bryant. Do all states have a 10-day upset bid period on foreclosures? No, we do not. We don't, Chris. So just Google it and see what states have that and what that all entails and how to navigate that. But honestly, there's not a tremendous amount of bidding at the foreclosure auctions right now here, just because everything's going kind of wild, and there was a moratorium on it for a while. So I like catching them, Chris, before they get to the auction, and you get better deals that way. Nia, do you know anything about how people are buying real estate in the metaverse? I don't, Nia. I'm looking at it. I don't get it. I think it might be too early, but who knows? I think it's really interesting. I think it's kind of wild to even think about. But just remember, everything that's housed virtually is stored somewhere physically. So I would be looking at, where do you buy warehouses for all of these, servers and whatever else?
How do you
provide some actual real estate for it? So I don't know. I think it's interesting, and if anybody is doing it, I will get them on this show, and we'll talk about it. That'd be really cool. But focus on what you can do now. Focus on serving the community now. There's so much more that has to be done for that thing. So I get it. You want to be early, and you want to be like, the Louisiana Purchase, where you get a ride out and you get a, you get a big plot of land just because you stuck your flag into it. I get it, but I don't know if that's realistic at this point. I'm in California. Is it safe to do 3 to 4 markets virtually, just enough records to work one when I'm pulling new lists every week?
Depends how big your team is, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about it. What do you mean, Berg?
Oh, you don't want to overextend yourself where it's a bottleneck trying to do too many markets at once, where you're not able to work the leads properly. I would advise do one market virtually. Once you've mastered that market, love it, hate it, or whatever, then go on to the next. And you can keep adding on the markets that way.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think the only problem is just too many leads where you're not able to nurture them and give them attention, because then it's like you're paying for them, but you're not actually maximizing them. So that's the only problem I'm seeing about that.
I would go deep before you go wide, Jason. Go real deep before you go wide. Make sure that you've got really good consistency. You've got really good. The issue with different markets is, you can tap into other people, other wholesalers' databases, but if you don't have a reputation and you don't really have a lot of experience with them, they might try to take 50% every single time initially. You might be able to negotiate after that, but it's the buyer base that's really important when you go into a virtual market, and understanding, is this a deal or not a deal, and really looking at the comps and making sure you understand and getting the most out of every deal. Michael's got a lot for us today, huh? Does it?
I love the guitar. I love the guitar.
I just, it's always A before E with Michael, so this is, I hope I'm saying it right.
Is it Michael or Mychelle?
Mychelle. Hey, have a buddy that doesn't want to use his personal address for his LLC. What can he do? I use mine so I didn't weigh other options. A lot of people use attorneys. A lot of people use accountants. And some people use P.O. boxes. You could do a virtual P.O. box, I think. I would look into that, see if you can get a EIN number with a virtual mailbox, but I'm not sure. Virtual mailboxes are crazy. They just take all your mail and scan it and put it in a PDF and send it to you. That's wild.
Oh, yeah, we did that.
Technology, man.
Yep.
You can do a shared office space, honestly. Like it's good for mail. It's good. Look for a cheap office. I'm sure you can find one for a couple $100.
Well, what were we, Alejandro? They were like, pay us $7 a month for the mailbox over at Spaces. Remember that? Yeah. There you go. So there's a lot of different options there, for sure. That's good. All right, that's it. That is awesome. So let's kind of put a bow on this thing. Text blasting. What do you see? What do you see the future? Do you think that it's going to keep chugging along? Do you think it's going to still be a pinnacle of our business? Do you think it's going to phase out because all the things are going to be spammed? Or do you think that it's going to just be, we're going to have to get creative on our opening and then try to rope them in on the second or third message? What do you think?
I mean, it's obviously still chugging along. Not only our success, but other people shared theirs. So I think we're just going to have to get creative. I mean, this business is a roller coaster ride. So you can just have to pivot, shift. I think we can always find a way to do it.
Yeah.
Even if in worst case, it's like we're texting them. If you want it bad enough, you do it.
Yeah.
It's definitely trending towards quality versus quantity.
Yeah.
Sending out creative opening texts, small amounts, and just getting that one pillar.
Who knows? Maybe one day it'll be a free-for-all again. We can send out 20,000 a day.
Probably not. You know what I'm interested in, Raphael? Have you looked into, is there a platform for blast texting on DMs?
Like
That's a good
Facebook?
idea.
I think
Because what's happening now with those data companies is they're not only pulling address. I mean, they're not only pulling the phone numbers and email addresses, they can find social media profiles as well through their algorithms and their bots. Is there a time where you skip trace, you get everybody's social media as well, handles, and then you can DM in a mass? I mean, I feel like the technology is already there.
Well, I've already done mass DMing, trying to build that buyer's list.
Yeah.
And there is a number where they cut you off.
So the platform cuts you off.
Yep, the platform cuts you off. So I don't know what it
Interesting.
was, 100 a day, 150 a day.
Awesome.
That's how they're limiting spam on their social media platform.
Awesome. We've got another guest that just popped in. The old alumni. Pop over by Raphael. Go say hello. He's coming. Oh, it's Mike Mahoney back again. Sorry, guys. He's too busy these days. We've been doing some amazing things on the TTP coaching side. So Mike and Jesse have been working really hard on that. And we're going to be announcing a lot of those things Monday. Now, listen, next Monday is going to be the Wednesday show. Next week's kind of wild because of Thanksgiving. But we have the most unbelievable Black Friday ever. Oh my gosh, it's going to be so absolutely incredible. 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time on Monday. We're going to be doing the live show. I have got Pace here. I've got Jamil here. I've got some other surprise guests that are going to pop up and provide a tremendous amount of value, people that you wouldn't even expect. So make sure that you join us, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Raphael and I will be going bananas with all of our best friends and some incredible, incredible professionals from around the country. So I want to thank Mychelle from Batch Leads for being on here. I want to thank the whole Batch Leads team for popping in here. That was great. I want to thank Jackie and Jeremy Thornburg. They truly are the heart and legs and arms and shoulders of my business, my wholesaling real estate business. I want to thank Raphael, and let's bring everybody up and let's close this thing out. I want to thank Matt Hill for keeping us organized and making us look great. Next live, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. I want to thank Daniel for bringing the camera. And if you guys have not, I don't even know what's the link to that. Do we have a link?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to post a link, guys. If you want to get more, I am doing a one-on-one with Jesse Burrell. Thank you, Alejandra. About getting massive deals on Friday. He is the owner of Batch. He's got all of the data from around the country on how to get really big, massive deals. Not only that, but he's done a ton of deals himself, and so have we. So it's going to be absolutely bananas. Do we have the link? Do we have the link so people can register for that? Because it is a webinar.
We will post that on Instagram.
We are going to post that on Instagram, on Brent Daniels _TTP Instagram, and you guys can check that out. If you're interested, it's Friday. So that's it. Love you guys. Until next, actually, we'll see you tomorrow for the Millionaire Before 30 show. We've got Josiah Grimes on, owner of Keegley, Jamil's partner, and owner of New Reach, the coaching platform that Jamil and Pace work with. So make sure that you join us for that incredible show. And Friday, this is action-packed. Today, Thursday, tomorrow, Friday, Jesse Burrell, and Monday, Black Friday sale, Thanksgiving Day sale. This is the Thanksgiving Day show. It was bananas last year. It's going to be 10 times this year. I'll see you then. I love you guys. See ya.